Hello, Richardson ISD. The 2020-21 school year is officially underway, and I want to start by thanking our parents, students, and of course every person who works on our campuses, our teachers, paraprofessionals, auxiliary staff, administrators, everyone. Everyone's participation and cooperation and patience is appreciated. Yes, there were some challenges last week, and there will continue to be challenges. However, we are working hard to meet the needs of our students. Parents, I know that virtual learning in particular has been difficult for some, and I've heard from many of you, and I want you to know that I've truly heard you. We are learning new ways every day to strengthen connections, and this week you'll see instruction gear up with the delivery of new content. Today I want to explain some of the reasoning and the rationale behind our September decision for returning to face-to-face instruction and our plan moving forward. You know, with every new experience, you learn a lot, and here are some of the things that we've learned. As you know, TEA requires that asynchronous be the delivery model for our youngest learners, but we do realize that it is not ideal. Students in grades pre-K through 3 are at the most critical stage of their academic development and benefit from a face-to-face instruction in the classroom setting with a professional teacher. Centralized special education students at identified campuses require more face-to-face instruction and supports because they are at the most risk of falling behind. We continue to be very concerned about the social and emotional effects for our students, such as isolation from peers and students, especially early adolescents need normal routines to develop and thrive. So in partnership with our Richardson ISD Board of Trustees, our team met this past Monday night to discuss a plan, a staggered return plan for returning to school face-to-face. This is a great plan and one that I believe will be the best for our students and staff, all students and staff. Based on 9 extensive factors that we've taken into consideration, RSD will be resuming face-to-face instruction as follows. Students in grades pre-K through 6 and centralized special education programs whose parents have chosen face-to-face instruction will resume in-person instruction on Tuesday, September 8th. Students in grades 7 and 8 whose parents have chosen face-to-face instruction will resume in-person instruction on Monday, September 14th. And students in grades 9 through 12 whose parents have chosen face-to-face instruction will resume in-person instruction on Monday, September 21st. And students, of course, whose parents have chosen virtual instruction will continue to receive virtual instruction in the same format that they have been since the beginning of school on August 19th. In advance of each 9-week grading period, every student and family will have an opportunity to choose to continue in their current learning framework or transition to the other option. Information about that will be coming further from your school. So, we are aware of the most recent updated recommendations for school districts in Dallas County to remain closed to in-person instruction beyond the September 8th date and have evaluated those recommendations as part of this big decision. We will continue to consult with health authorities, and we have the greatest respect for our health authorities from Dallas County, Richardson, as well as others we've had the benefit of getting consultation from. Y'all, we have a lot of medical doctors in our school district who are critical resources to us. They've been so and will continue to be resources for us during this time. They are the experts, and it was with their help and their assistance that I made the decision for our staggered start. Again, we continue to work with them and value them so much. As we move into this phase of planning to resume face-to-face, I want to answer many important questions that parents have been asking regarding screening, masks, notification, and what happens when there are positive cases. This information will also help everyone to have a better understanding about the complexities of risk mitigation and how they get so much bigger when you open face-to-face to our junior high and our high schools. So let's do a day in the life if you are a student going face-to-face. Before students even leave for school, we're going to be asking parents to do a screening of your student to assure that they are not coming to school with any symptoms or any signs of COVID-19. especially fever, cough, nausea, or anything on the screener you're going to be provided. The CDC and the TEA do not recommend schools do daily temperature checks, so we will not be doing those daily, although there will be and could be random times when temperatures are checked. Parents, you'll be turning in a once-a-week screener to your first period or homeroom teacher that is a record of your daily screenings. This is absolutely the best way that we can mitigate the risk of the virus entering our school. Every student will enter the building wearing masks, not a face shield. Face shields will only be worn for certain activities or if it is academically necessary to see the student's face, such as for speech therapy. I was very strong in my wording on Monday night about masks. I know that there are a lot of parents, or some parents, that are concerned about your students wearing masks. But y'all, we've had young children in our daycare program since July 6th wearing masks every day, all day, except when they're eating or drinking, without any issues. Okay, now let's talk notifications if COVID does enter the building. So now we're in the classroom. Everyone's wearing a mask. When a student doesn't feel well, the teacher will send the student to the clinic to assess and determine if they need to go home or stay in class. If they're exhibiting COVID-like symptoms, they will be monitored in an isolated area, much like your pediatrician's office, and will definitely go home. Children who are exhibiting COVID-like symptoms will be required to stay home for 10 days unless they can provide an alternate diagnosis or a negative test. At that point, when a student leaves with symptoms, the classroom will be cleaned and students will return to the classroom the same day. However, let's say that someone in the classroom unfortunately tests positive. When the student tests positive, that's when contact tracing starts. This is where close, prolonged contact comes into play. You need to get ready to hear that phrase a lot this year. Close, prolonged contact. It means 6 feet for 15 minutes. You've been in contact with someone within 6 feet of them for 15 minutes. Any students who have had close, prolonged contact with anyone who tested positive will be required to stay home for 14 days. In cases where the teacher cannot definitively say who was in close, prolonged contact, the entire classroom may have to be shut down. This will be our last resort. We will directly and promptly notify parents of anyone who has had close, prolonged contact with your student. Everyone in the school will be notified in a weekly letter regarding cases at your school. And we will also be updating this information weekly for the whole district on our website. If an entire classroom is closed and students are quarantined, the classroom teacher will provide a virtual classroom environment for the length of the quarantine. If only one student in the classroom is quarantined, the teacher will allow the student to stay at home, but this is important, and many of you have asked this question. That teacher will facilitate virtual learning for your student. They will not be moved to another classroom. Again, we've received a lot of questions about that, so please let me take away that concern. Any decision to close down a whole school will be made collaboratively with our local health authorities, just as we've had to do in the past for the flu. Notification is very important, and there should be no judgment or ridicule if someone contracts this virus. We are all trying to stay well and do our part. So it's important that parents realize that notifying our schools of positive cases is imperative to keeping our schools and our community safe. All of the risk mitigation protocols that are in the blueprint will be in effect. We're doing a video that will be released next week that will visibly show you the personal and classroom equipment and procedures that will be used to mitigate the risk of COVID-19 in our schools. Parents, having started our first 3 weeks with 100% virtual instruction has been an invaluable step showing everyone how virtual instruction works. Should a student, an entire classroom, or an entire school needs to transition from face-to-face back to virtual instruction. Thank you for your partnership with us, especially those parents of our littlest of our little students. Thank you for providing our classroom teachers empathy, support, and cooperation as they are working tirelessly to build relationships and provide quality instruction in our virtual classrooms. And thank you to our teachers for being on the front lines. Let's continue to work together to keep the virus out of our schools. Thank you and be well.